Islam Makhachev has been turning heads lately, not just for his dominance inside the octagon, but for how massive he looks ahead of his upcoming clash with Jack Della Maddalena. The former lightweight king seems to have fully embraced the move up to welterweight, showing off a noticeably thicker frame and a calm confidence that suggests he's ready to make a serious statement. As the fight draws closer, fighters from all corners of the MMA world are weighing in, and the opinions are split right down the middle. Among the first to chime in was Alexander Volkanovski, a man who understands Makhachev's skill set better than almost anyone. After battling him for 10 grueling rounds across 2 title fights, Volkanovski knows firsthand what makes the Dagestani champion so dangerous. Yet, he's convinced that Maddalena might be one to finally crack the code. What stood out to Volkanovski was Jack's performance against Belal Muhammad, where the Australian not only stuffed takedowns, but dictated the pace in the striking exchanges. In his view, that level of composure and adaptability could be exactly what's needed to survive Islam's relentless wrestling style.
JDM is getting ready for Islam Makhachev. How dangerous is he for Islam? So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. We've got Belal, who's a wrestler. Look how we handle that. And you know he's a beast on the feet. Islam's not taking this one lightly. So him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Another voice backing Maddalena is Carlos Breitz, who's also set up to compete in the UFC 322 card. Breitz couldn't hide his respect for how Jack handled the wrestling-heavy challenge in his last fight. What impressed him wasn't just the technique, but the maturity, the patience to stay calm under constant pressure. For Breitz, this matchup isn't about simply defending takedowns, it's about maintaining composure through 25 minutes of chaos. He even suggested that Maddalena could drag Islam into deep waters and win a decision if he manages to keep that same level-headed approach.
The main event is also in your weight class, JDM and Islam. Who do you think is going to win that?
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since he stopped fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Belal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is going to win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
You think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he lose, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fights. How close is gonna be the fight, you know?
Gilbert Burns offered a more balanced take. The Brazilian veteran believes the jump to welterweight might actually work in Makhachev's favor. Without the stress of cutting down to 155 pounds, Islam could perform with more energy, better endurance, and sharper focus. Still, Burns acknowledged that Maddalena won't be walking in unprepared. With submission ace Craig Jones helping craft his ground defense, the same coach who helped Volkanovski prepare for Islam, Burns sees this fight as a tactical chess match between two elite camps. To him, it's one of those rare pairings where both men have legitimate paths to victory.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proven himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating.
Stephen Thompson, on the other hand, isn't entirely convinced that Maddalena is ready for a challenge of this magnitude. As a striker who has faced some of the best in the division, Thompson knows how big the leap is from beating top contenders to facing a champion of Makhachev's caliber. He respects Jack's rapid rise but questions the timing, wondering if this step might come too soon. With killers like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary lurking in the division, Thompson suspects that Maddalena may have taken on more than he can handle.
Yeah, who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Yeah. Because, you know, this guy JDM just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him one or two more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy, somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Bilal Muhammad. Mm-hmm. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Bilal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
Steve Erceg, another Australian making waves in the UFC, had a very different takeaway. He described Jack's fight against Bilal Muhammad as one of the best performances ever by an Australian in the octagon. Erceg admired how Maddalena remained calm, picked his shots smartly, and never let the pressure shake him. He even drew parallels to Dustin Poirier's moments of success against Makhachev, only this time he believes Jack's heavier hands and faster timing could push Islam even further. In Erceg's eyes, this combination of composure and striking precision might be enough to expose vulnerabilities that no one has managed to before.
Yes, I mean, I've known for a very long time that Jack is an amazing fighter. He's really good, and he shocked me on how good he was. Like, he handled the grappling exchanges so well, and it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. Like, he just, like, the big moment, like, he rose to the occasion. It was, like, fantastic to see. And I really do think, I do think that the grappling from Islam, like, he's a better technical grappler than Bilal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing. And yeah, if you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedown and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Max Holloway viewed the matchup from a more cerebral angle. For him, this fight isn't just about physical ability, it's a battle of minds. Holloway sees Maddalena as one of those rare fighters who can make instant adjustments mid-fight, shifting his strategy on the fly. That kind of fight IQ, he feels, could make this one especially intriguing. Makhachev, meanwhile, is known for sticking to his game plan with near-perfect discipline. Holloway expects a tactical back and forth, with both men constantly adapting and countering each other in real time. The kind of matchup where even the smartest and smallest adjustment could change the outcome completely.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know. He's number 2 pound for pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack.
Robert Whittaker, always loyal to his fellow Aussies, made it clear where his support lies. Having fought across both middleweight and welterweight divisions, Whittaker knows firsthand how much difference a few pounds can make at the elite level. He sees Maddalena as a fighter who thrives in chaos but never loses his composure. In his eyes, Jack doesn't need to completely shut down Makhachev's wrestling, he just needs to prevent it from turning into a one-sided grind. If he can stay balanced, keep his back off the fence, and make Islam respect his power, Whittaker believes an upset could very well be on the cards.
Because I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think And this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Philip Rowe didn't hesitate to back Maddalena either. He argued that Makhachev's frame simply isn't built for the welterweight division, and that bigger, stronger opponents could overwhelm him physically. Rowe envisions Jack's blend of power, speed, and efficiency being too much for Islam to handle, predicting that the Australian's output would wear down the Dagestani before the fight even reached the scorecards.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man? Chilling. Hey, now listen, you're welterweight. You've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is. Yeah. But he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in a fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. Right. I think personally he'll stop at Islam.
Dan Hardy approached things from a more analytical perspective. He's fascinated by how champions handle the move to a higher division. Dominance in one weight class doesn't always translate to success in another. He believes that Islam's performance will depend heavily on how well his body adjusts to the extra weight and the different physical demands of welterweight competition. At the same time, Dan Hardy pointed out that even if Maddalena wins, the road ahead could just be as tough. Defending against the division's murderers, Rowe, would be a whole new challenge.
Obviously, John Jones against Tom Aspinall, which is the blockbuster. I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev, though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, on any day, including Ilya Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have.
Colby Covington brought his usual tactical insight into the debate. He acknowledged that Makhachev won't have the same size advantage he enjoys at lightweight, but still leans slightly toward Islam. What stood out most to him was how seamlessly Makhachev transitions between striking and grappling, making him one of the most complete fighters in the game. Covington admitted, though, that this fight is as unpredictable as they come. It could swing in either direction, depending on who dictates the pace first.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Banyal Dariush, who's faced many of the toughest names in the sport, also gave his thoughts. He sees this as a risky move for Islam, mainly because physicality becomes a bigger factor when two fighters are equally skilled. Dariush feels that Maddalena's cardio, power, and natural size might be too much for the Dagestani to handle. While he still admires Islam's patient and methodical approach, he suspects that Jack's relentless pace and natural welterweight strength will push Makhachev into unfamiliar territory.
Islam versus JDM. Do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm going to lean now towards JDM. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but so I just feel like JDM.
Sean O'Malley took a step back from the technical details and looked at the bigger picture. To him, this fight isn't just about titles, it's about legacy. The winner, he said, could become part of a much larger story, potentially setting up blockbuster fights with stars like Ilya Topuria down the road. O'Malley also pointed out the chaos factor that Maddalena brings to every fight. If Jack can stuff a few takedowns early and create enough space to strike, O'Malley expects things to get wild quickly. He sees the matchup as one that could explode into a back-and-forth war if Makhachev can't impose his usual control.
At Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Bilal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big build,
Who give him that?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilya versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Merab Dvalishvili, one of the UFC's most relentless grapplers, looked at the fight from his own perspective as a pressure-heavy wrestler. He believes Makhachev still has the tools to shock everyone by taking the welterweight crown. Having built his career on endless chain wrestling, Merab knows how important control and positioning are at the highest level. He studied Madalena's last fight closely and pointed out how Belal Muhammad struggled to get consistent takedowns.
Islam, he's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling. He's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down. And also we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight and Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
Ian Gary took a more straightforward approach to his analysis. He emphasized the physical size difference, noting that Madalena is a true welterweight who could never safely make the lightweight limit. That, in his eyes, changes everything. Gary believes that Jack's natural power and frame could give him a major edge, especially if he can land clean early. He sees the potential for Madalena to end the fight in spectacular fashion, a thunderous knockout that could shake up the entire welterweight division.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Jack Hermansson's thoughts lean toward caution. He fully recognizes Makhachev's position as one of the pound-for-pound greats at lightweight, but isn't entirely sure that dominance will automatically carry over. At the same time, he's been impressed by Madalena's steady growth, especially after his win over Belal Muhammad. Still, Hermansson stopped short of calling Jack elite just yet, suggesting that while the Australian has made big strides, he still needs a few more major wins before cementing himself among the best in the world.
Yeah, it's so hard because you never know when people are changing weight classes. But in lightweight, you know, Islam looks like unbeatable. It's just like maybe the pound for pound best. It's just so insanely good. But can he do it in a weight class above? I'm not sure. Really, really hard to predict a fight like that. I think I still have to say Islam.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. Yeah, we need to see a few more fights with Jack. It looked amazing against Bilal, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's something about Islam is just so good.
As fight night approaches, the MMA community seems torn. On one side are those who believe Islam Makhachev's technical mastery, discipline, and experience will hold up just fine at welterweight, and on the other are those who see Jack Della Maddalena's composure, timing, and natural size as the perfect storm to dethrone him. The tension lies in the unknown. Will Makhachev's power and control translate to a higher division, or will Maddalena's pressure and precision finally hand him his first real setback in years? One thing's for sure, with both fighters entering their primes and each carrying a nation's hopes, this matchup feels bigger than just another title fight.